If you have visited this channel enough, you'll know that despite as much as I talk about removing identity and roles and authenticity, when I make any video, I'm typically out here in this environment. So yeah, there's some hypocrisy there. However, this is the environment, hiking out on these Forest Service roads in a community outside of Sedona, Arizona, that just absolutely kind of opens up my heart and stimulates my mind as I'm moving my body. And the thoughts flow freely, and it's a chance to kind of rehash conversations I've had with other people and just see what comes out. You'll also know, if you watch this channel enough, that I have an affinity for Hermetic principles and universal law, and those often come up, and will again in this little share about a conversation I just had last evening with a friend of mine who was a client of my son as he started his own detailing business. And as conversation from that kind of evolved into other things, we found ourselves discussing all of the various ways in which we're trying to explain our existence. It started with astrology, and then we can look at human design or gene keys, various religions, simulation theory, so on and so forth. And I think we're coming to an age where people are beginning to understand that of all the things that we're trying to explain, there's so much with the similarities that maybe we should focus on the similarities of all of these various things and find how there is a oneness versus just attaching to a particular ideology and hypothesizing a oneness. Let's actually look for it. Let's meld astrology with human design, with various religious dogma and esoteric principles, universal law. Let's look at all the cultures and really whittle it down to the few. And I think that we are doing that. That was the kind of the gist of our conversation. But if I am to exercise Hermetic principles, one of which is the law of polarity, then I would know that, okay, I have to flip that. I have to look at that from a different angle, from the opposite. And if I am assuming, proposing, and seeing evidence of us all trying to explain things in various manners, then I need to think that perhaps it's these explanations themselves that are forming everything. Could it be that if I'm proposing astrology after studying its lineage back until I'm not sure when, or I've invented gene keys or human design, or I am a devotee to a certain religion, could it be that all of those things that now get encapsulated in my mind and defined as particular things or such, it is that is creating all of this? We come back to this whole chicken or the egg kind of thing. If I create a study of anything with an ology, biology, physiology, psychology, microbiology, meteorology, oceanography, anything, could it be that the study of that thing is what is providing the form as we believe we are informing ourselves? Is this knowledge, or is this information? Is this truth, or are we validating some of our experiences that actually don't necessarily give us information, but put us in formation to believe something of which we are manifesting? if we're creating our own reality, then we might need to assume that concept in a broader scope of things. It's not just me thinking and living out my days pursuing those things that make up my thoughts or taming them. It could be that everything I am being taught is providing some form to the formlessness. And I should be cautious of what I'm being taught because I'm buying into a system that we have deemed the collective unconscious, when really it's in our awareness and constantly reinforced by saying that this is, or this is how this works. And now I encapsulate that in my head. I feel that deeply, make that true. So it becomes this. So to be solution oriented, not that there's a problem here, I think the key would be to really develop new ways of thinking, a new thinking that doesn't put anything into a box, and to start over, not in the sense that we're going to erase our history, because I think that happens so many times that we end up repeating the same mistakes, but instead we look at all histories and we try to forget how things got to that way, just know that it occurred necessarily, or I don't know, I posit like, thinking of new things, and how do we do that? Because every thought that we've ever had has been, is, and forever will be. And that's the tough one. If I'm proposing that it's our study of things, it's our mathematical explanations, it's our philosophies that are forming things, then how can you break a system other than quit doing that, stop everything that we're doing, and approach this differently? Just let it be. Quit fucking explaining everything. And again, here's the irony, is that I have a recording of myself explaining that things that are explained are what are making up everything in which we live in. So I should just